you guys to sit back and imagine. You can't control your behaviors or your emotions. And you have a hard time learning new materials like ABCs or your numbers in kindergarten. And the really bad part is you can't communicate with your friends or family. It's really hard for you to make friends. This is what 50 million people around the world have. This disease is called autism. My PowerPoint is about the social disorder and behavioral issues from autism. A clarification is, what is autism and the causes it creates in the brain by Darius O. Next slide, my overview. I'm going to go to my background, my initial causes and symptoms of autism, my research design, and my conclusion. Next slide, background. I'm going to explain to you what autism is and to discover autism. Autism is a neurodevelopment disorder. A neurodevelopment disorder is an impairment growth in the brain. As you can see, the green and the blue is the corpus callosum, and the green is the cerebellum. This is the brain of an autistic person. It should not be this small. It should actually be this big for a normal person's brain. Since the brain is undeveloped, it's really small, and that causes them to have bad memory, bad behavior, and also bad learning abilities. Who discovered autism? Dr. Leo Connor, an Australian pediatrician. He was one of the first people in the early 1900s to discover its symptoms and the causes of autism. His colleague, Dr. Hans Asperger, another scientist like Leo, discovered the syndrome called Asperger syndrome, which I'll later explain in my PowerPoint. Next slide. The symptoms and connotations of autism. The symptoms of autism: behavior, emotion, learning ability, and memory. People with autism, they can't decide on what their emotions to be or their behavior. For example, if a little girl on her bike, she fell down, she can decide to be mad, sad, or get back up. She's confused. For learning abilities, they can't learn at a normal pace like us. They learn at a slower pace. So let's say they're in kindergarten and learn the ABCs. They have to stay back in class for a longer period of time so they can learn the ABCs. And they have really bad memory. So they might have a short-term memory or a long-term memory. It's really bad. Connotations of autism. What causes autism? No scientist is 100% sure what causes autism. However, a new thing called environmental factors is a high leading cause of autism. And second leading cause of autism is genetics. The occurrence of autism. The earliest sign of autism is the months of 1 month to 18 months, which is a newborn infant. Some signs are they can't say a noise or make a sound by the age of 12 months. And they cannot speak their first or second words by the age of 16 months. Next slide. Treatments for autism. Selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, or SSRI, is a neurotransmitter that reduces the repetitive behavior, the improved moods, or and reduces the tantrum in a person's brain. More medications for autism is tricyclic, antipsychotic, and anti-anxiety medications, which are mostly given to little kids because it helps the brain more than SSRI. Next slide. Types of autism. There are 4 types of autism. The first type, and most common type of autism, is autistic disorder, which is when a person is having a hard time imagining or having social interaction with others. The second type is called Asperger syndrome. It's when a child has no problem with languages. In fact, he's very smart. He has above average grades in science, engineering, math, and history. But they do have bad communication, like other people with autism. The next type of autism is called persuasive development disorder, or PDD for short. It's like, for example, a person goes to a doctor and he has 3 or 4 signs of autism, they'll say they'll tell him that he has PED. But for a person who has 5 or 6 or 7 signs of autism, they say that you're autistic. The 4th type of autism is Rett disorder, and it only occurs in girls. It's just like autism. Research design. The purpose of this experiment is to see if autism is caused by genetics or by environmental factors. Next slide. Materials. They got 100 sets of twins or 200 babies, environmental factors, and genetics. The hypothesis was the scientists think that the environmental factor will be the more leading cause of autism than genetics. The experiment was undergo where scientists would give 100 sets of infant baby twins, and they're exposed to environmental areas in the mother's womb before they're born. And they also have record of family member have autism. Next slide. The method. Observe 100 sets of twins, expose them to environmental factors, and they have record of family member, at least one family member having autism, and their results were added to the data. And the results were that at least one of every set of twins was diagnosed with autism. And less than 40% was diagnosed because of genetics, and then more than 60% was diagnosed because of environmental factors. Next slide. This is my graph I made. So you can basically see that environmental factors is the highest leading cause of autism, and second leading cause of autism is genetics. Next slide. The first brain you see right here is an autistic brain. The one at the bottom is a normal brain, like you guys have. The one on the left is the corpus callosum, and the one on the right is the cerebellum. As you can see, the callosum is very smaller than a callosum in a person's normal brain, and the corpus, the cerebellum, is much smaller, much bigger in an autistic brain than a person who does not have autism. Next slide. My conclusion. Can a person with autism overcome it? It has been proven that 1 out of 10 autistic people or patients have overcome autism, but it's due to regular visits to a therapist or because of medication. Unfortunately, not everybody that has autism can overcome it, and they live their whole lives with autism. There have been experiments going on where scientists will get autistic mice, and they will give them a mental drug they will take, and the autism will go away. The drug is called GRN-529. The drug was designed to inhibit a type of brain cell receptor that receives the neurotransmitter glutamate. Glutamate is typically involved in learning and memory processes and stimulates other areas of the brain and the nervous system. Next slide. Conclusion. 50 million people around the world have autism. However, there could be one day when scientists discover a cure for autism and they live normal lives like me and you. I now open the floor to any questions, comments, or concerns you may have. Tyler.
What do you mean by overcome autism?
They can, by themselves or with people around them, they can learn to control their emotions and their learning abilities and get back their memories. That's what
Can you elaborate on the different ways to diagnose someone with Rett's disorder and the
They're giving signs like I said, the symptoms as a baby, if they can talk by age of 16 months, or they can get first noise or sound by age of 12 months. Those were the types of tests the parents got from the doctors to see the kids even had them. And that word is Alex.
How come Rett's disorder is only found in women?
Rett disorder is not commonly discussed, but I don't know why for sure. It's always in girls, but not in males. Randy.
What exactly do you mean by environmental factors?
kid, the baby might get affected by it and get autism. Mr. Real?
Yes, Mr. Oakport, did your research cover any of the controversy regarding, like, again, vaccinations as perhaps a cause, or some of, not the vaccination itself, but some of the elements that are used to compose the vaccination?
Oh yes, like they said, mercury was
Yeah.
a big factor of autism. Like I said, maybe our mother that's still pregnant, this is some kind of vaccine that mercury inside it. They can cause the baby to have autism.